and I will be leading you through some SEO stuff, doing a lightweight workshop to show you how to actually use it instead of talking about it from like the conceptual side, but show you what I do and how I use it. What programs is everyone in, just so I get an idea of? Everyone's from MSMI. We have some, wow, part-time MBA, part-time MBA, full-time MBA second year. Okay, and then Dr. K. Well, hey everybody, nice to meet you. I was just graduated from the program last year. I'll dive into the career stuff, the SEO stuff. So we'll just get started. Digital marketing with Greg, that's me. And let's actually use SEO. Do you guys all know what SEO is? I wanted to see what the comfort level of everybody is. Does anybody have a background in it, or are you guys more like, I know what it is, but I don't know how to use it? Okay, and then some of you guys are probably more versed, like, hey, I've used this before, and how do I get better? I want to see what you're doing. So, okay, probably cool mix. All right, so we'll keep it high level, and then I'll show you what I do, what the tools are, how to apply it, and then what it means if you're going to be in digital marketing, or if you're going to be a product marketer, or if you're going to be an analyst, because this does apply to a lot of things, is what you have on the website. So here's the quick 5 minutes of career stuff. I'll go over the brief overview, and then we'll just dive in. So I want to make sure you guys actually leave this thing learning something. Like, oh, I learned at least one thing. But I'll probably make sure it'll be better. We'll go into keyword research, on-page SEO, off-page SEO, technical SEO, some SEO resources to get better, because you're not going to learn this in an hour with me. Some of the personal things that I always do when I'm working on websites, the career outlook for SEO and digital marketing, and how to kind of get started in that field if you don't have a lot of experience, or like, hey, I'm new to this, how do I get into it? Because I had to fight through that barrier myself. And then review anything that I may have just gone over because I talk really quickly, because I always assume that everybody knows this. And then any Q&A, just ask me about anything. So I'll try to wrap that all up. And then I don't have a bedtime, so I can hang out here and you can bother me, but I know there's a class later. So let's see. So here's some of the tools that I'll be using. We'll be using Ahrefs, WordPress, Google Search Console. And if we have time and you want me to go dive into it, I'll bust open Google Analytics on a couple of different websites, so you can just see what I do. And then, like to field any questions. I do have some SCM Rush and a few other softwares up my sleeve. So let's start. That's me. So originally I'm from Cal. That's not me. That's the CEO of Nintendo America. But people used to clown on me saying he looks like me in the future. So I'm from California originally. Born and raised from Southern California, between LA and San Diego. I moved up here for work 10 years ago. I liked it so much, I stayed. I'm a USF alumni like yourselves. I just graduated from MSMI. I skewed towards the older, more experienced side. Most people were, mid-20s. I was definitely the old man in the group, 32, a whopping 32. So right now I'm a digital marketing manager at Penumbra Inc. And if you haven't heard of Penumbra Inc., we're a $9 billion medical technology company. So we make life-saving surgical tools. Who needs those? Basically, they made the vacuum that sucks blood clots out of you. So, and we have stuff for your brain, for your heart, and for your body. And so basically, it's really cool because I get to work with like brain surgeons and heart surgeons. And my first few months there, I was like, oh my God, they're going to find out that I went to USF. Well, it can only be so smart. But no, none of them really speak. The good news is they're really good at medicine, not so much marketing. And so they rely on me for a lot of things. The imposter syndrome wears off. It's there, So they basically invented a vacuum cleaner. It's a pump, and they plug in a bunch of different catheters, so they don't have to like cut you open anymore. So they can just make a small incision and send this up like a snake through your vent, like a plumbing snake, and then they'll have tools to suck out the blood clot using a pure vacuum, or grab it with like a claw-like thing, or plug up the hole. A lot of really cool things. And what's cool is they've cut the time that it takes to get these blood clots out of you from like, strokes used to be like this. I mean, they still are this super serious thing, but now a talented surgeon can get them out in 5 minutes. And so they say that people go in having a stroke and they walk out the hospital within a couple of years. And that's what's really cool is like, we're doing this cool thing. We're helping people, and the job is I do everything digital marketing. I manage ads. I manage our paid social. I manage the website, the CMS. I do all of our analytics. I kind of fell in iPhone 9. Anyway, I just kind of fell into the role and started absorbing different things because they hadn't really they're really latent to this industry. And med tech, you know, it's an industry where a lot of money is exchanging hands. So they do almost $1 billion in sales every year. They're valued, publicly traded. We have offices all over the world. I work with our partners in Europe, Middle East, Africa, Latin America, APAC. Anyway, so it's a big thing. I know it's probably not on the radar because when you think of tech, you usually think of Apple, Facebook, Google, but not so much. Oh, I'm not sharing. Told you I went to USF. So here we go. All right, back to it. So sorry. Anyway, I do all that, all things digital marketing, and I work with a lot of different teams, product marketing managers, analysts, buying, a lot of executives to try to get buy-in on different things. Anyway, we'll speed through this real quick. I also do digital marketing on the side as a consultant. I have my own consulting company. I'm starting an agency. Right now I'm working with another food and beverage startup, and then a resort group in the Caribbean that's turning out a lot of these luxury boutique resorts. So a couple different things, a lot of cool things. I'll tell you about how I got into these. It didn't go out of my way. I just kind of fell into them and happened. So I was, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this. But before I became a digital marketing manager and got this really cool job, went to grad school, I was selling marketing on street corners, and I started this sign spinning company in a garage with a bunch of friends, and we took it all over the world, and we had big world sign spinning competitions. Now that's me. We had big clients like from Cartoon Network, ESPN, Walmart, T-Mobile, the guys on the corner doing tricks with the signs. You know, there's a lot of money in that. I did that, so I like to tell people right out of high school I joined the circus, and then I was probably still be doing it until COVID just decimated our industry like almost overnight. But this gave me a lot of chance because I went to school for graphic design and was designing all of our signs and flyers and prints. But that took like writing marketing copy. So from writing marketing copy, I started writing our blogs. Then I needed to know these blogs need to be SEO optimized so people actually get to them. And then once I started learning about the keywords, I took over our Google Ads. And then, then I just kind of absorbed one element after another from this and would manage campaigns here. We expanded into Europe. I got to be part of the Germany expansion. We franchised all over the United States. We're in 30 American cities. Anyway, it was really fun until it wasn't. And then I had to transition out of that. And then I worked at a warehouse. We sold a lot of it was real boring, safe industry during COVID. It was like products for the food industry, like the cleaning stuff, janitorial supplies. But then we had like special jackets for freezerware. So I had two entities that I got to work with, and I had to SEO and rebuild their whole websites and do all of that. And that was a really awesome experience. Yes, I think, Anyway, so that's my atypical journey into getting and becoming a digital marketing manager and learning all this. Didn't happen overnight. It was a long process, and I got a chance to work on a lot of different units and optimize countless pages. So I like to say that there's 4 main pillars of digital marketing. And at the center of it is your website, right? That is your presence to the world. And the first pillar, obviously, is going to be SEO. And that's like your website content, the stuff on your page. Like, what do you want to tell people? Can anyone name another pillar of digital marketing?
Content.
Content would fall in the SEO bracket, but yeah, I mean, you can split this up like a million times. This is just how I like to think of it. So content, falls in that SEO range, but yeah, content is important. Analytics is kind of like the back end, more falls in the website. That's like the math and the brain behind it. It's more like you're pushing up, but that's good. SEM, yeah. SEM, that's search engine marketing. That's your Google ads, your display ads, your Microsoft ads, YouTube ads, whatever. And I'll just run through these. Social media is what I like to think of, and that includes paid social and organic. And email, but now email also includes things like push notifications and text messaging. This is just how I like to do it. Some other people will cut it certain ways. There's no authority on this. You can just say what you want, like there's no like official authority on digital marketing, but these are like the 4 main pillars that help me think of it and how I like to explain it. Because at my job, honestly, there's an education piece. They might know how to cut a brain open, but I'm trying to tell a bunch of boomers how to use the internet and why they can't do certain things on YouTube what's impossible can be really frustrating. So I got to go in and educate them. Big education piece of my job. So that just helps me break it apart. So the why SEO. Can anyone tell me why is SEO important? And some of that Hirsch and Tanishkin. We have some other last MSMIers in here. Do you want to come in or bring a chair? We have one here. There other MSMI from last year. We can all barrage them with questions afterwards and interrogate them. Okay, so back to the real question is, why SEO though? Why is it important?
To like get more traffic on your website.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, the number one way that people would find you.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
Is on the internet. Yeah.
To get the leads without paying.
Yeah. Those are all right. And here's the graph is like, this is why you want to be first on Google. On that front page, you want your organic search is most of the clicks are going to that first link. 34% of all clicks. It's like a third goes there and it gets cut in half for each step that you are. So you're second place, you're getting half the clicks of the next link up, and then so on and so forth. It keeps going down until you're at the bottom of the page, you're getting less than 1%. And Dr. K told me this hilarious joke is, where do you want to hide a dead body? It's on the second page of Google. So, that is why you want to get your stuff up there but that doesn't mean you necessarily need to go in and gamify the system and cheat, and just use AI optimized words that don't really say anything. Google's caught on to that. You need to offer relevant content that helps people, that reinforces the marketing cycle, depending on where people are at the different stages of your buyer journey. Are they more on the awareness stage? Are they in the consideration stage? Like an awareness example would be, I'll dive into that in a second. Okay, that's it. So before I dive into some of these tools, let's look at the anatomy of a SERP, which stands for Search Engine Results Page. So let me go there so my cookies don't mess this up. So I like to start with some basic terms. Lizards. So we're looking at lizards. So this is featuring some rich snippets. Here we have images that are showing up, the people always ask box. And then we have like a Wikipedia citation. These are all important things that show up. Wikipedia is obviously the first one. And then you start getting other different things, and videos of lizards show up. So it's that we have videos, we have questions, we have the organic page, we got featured snippets. I see a video already? I probably did. Now let's type a how to try a lizard. Anything. How to anything. Come on, someone give me something.
Ride a bike.
How to ride a bike with a dog. Some of the first things that come up are the videos. How to is a huge section, and then WikiHow, and the people always ask box. Now let's dive more into like products. So now that we're going to know the difference, does everyone know the difference between a long tail keyword and a short tail keyword? I know some of you may not. Okay, so a short tail keyword is a generic term like shoes. It's going to get lots and lots and lots of searches, but probably not a lot of them are relevant for what you're selling, and it's going to be really competitive. Look at that, 3 million results. So here we have shopping ads, we have places that sell shoes, which is like the local SEO, and then we're going to have organic things. Designer shoe warehouse, big surprise. What is going on here? Come on, go away. It really pulled the thing. And then more, this is from Google Merchant Center, like products, famous footwear, and then the people always ask box. So now let's get a little bit more specific. Red shoes. We're running the same thing. There's a movie, we got a featured snippet, more ads, image search, people always ask, and then the relevant SEO content. Now we're going to type red shoes with graffiti. And that's a long tail keyword because it keeps getting longer and longer. And you see we're going, this number should be going down, but it's not. You're going to get more relevant searches the longer your word is, and knowing what your customers are searching for, or your clients, or whoever you're trying to get your content in front of, kind of want to reverse engineer it. What are they searching for on their buyer journey to find your product, and what kind of content can you build that answers their questions that they may be having? It's generally how you want to think about that. Someone's looking for red shoes with graffiti. There's no ads, it's images, right? Pinterest, Etsy. So if you have red shoes with graffiti and you have an Etsy shop, this is great because you want to be as specific as possible, especially in e-commerce. You want to be as specific as possible, like what the product is. Can't tell you how much boring content I had to write for geez, log 6 industrial sanitizer for food products. That's the product, you know, it's this crazy thing, but the people who are actually buying it are the people who are most likely to find it. So that's how you want to think about it. Now let's go to something more relevant to the Bay Area, something like a service, payroll software. So we're running into a search ad, right? And this is getting more competitive. Not just 1, 2, 3, 4 ads for payroll software. So that's telling me it's competitive. Then we're getting organic links for ADP, and then more people always ask, and we'll make this relevant, images, different things. So that's the anatomy of like what's on a search engine result page. This is going to be real important to know, because how my goal as a digital marketer is I want to take as much real estate on that front page as possible, because most people are landing on Google, they're seeing this, and I'm already losing attention span as I scroll. Like, I'm not going past this point, right? I'm clicking on like one of these first 3 things or the ad. So when I'm working for any websites, I'm like, yes, let's run ads. Let's have content that's up there. Let's answer questions, but let's also have images and videos, that content that fulfills that search. So that is the anatomy of a search engine result page. It doesn't just display search listings anymore. It also displays, lost train of thought. It also displays multimedia content, sorry. It's been a long day for Greg. So now let's dive into the actual tool that I'm going to use. I know some of you have heard of like the Google Keyword Planner.
Yeah.
That's good for ads, and that does give you a good place to start. But if it's going to be better, let's see. I think I have to go to USF. Let's use one of my favorite tools, Ahrefs. Now I have the basic version of Ahrefs here, and I've got our industrial SEM rush here. We can play with both of these depending on how much time we have. I don't want to keep you guys, but I can go and go and go. So here's that start that I was talking about. Ahrefs is great, and they're all going to look the same. We start with your keyword planning. So I'm trying to market a product. I think I actually have some keywords already out here and some lists already made. Give you an example of. So let's see. I have it on this computer. It's on my personal computer. Let's go to my consulting client. 1 second. Let me stop sharing the screen real quick so I can open up my email. Can I do that? Oh, sorry. Let me do that because I already have a giant keyword list that I want to run through. But it's oh, on this. Whatever. Nobody look. I just didn't want to broadcast it to the Zoom. So Ashley keywords. There we go. Here we go. So let's start with that train of thought. So let me go back here. Let me start sharing again. Let me start sharing again. Sorry. All right. So this resort is in Belize. So I'm like, what are people looking for when they search for Belize? The word Belize is generally really hard. So I think what I did was I went to keyword ideas, related terms for Belize. There we go. And then I just started scrolling through this. This is keyword difficulty here. So this is like how difficult a keyword is to rank for. So the higher the word is, the higher the number, the more difficult it is. You're gonna have tons and tons and tons of competitors. It's gonna be really hard. You're gonna need lots of backlinks. And the lower the keyword difficulty is, the easier it's going to be to rank for. Let's see, like specifically Turismo Belize. This is in Spanish for Belize tourism. You know, that's a super highly targeted keyword for someone that may be looking for tourism in Belize, but in Spanish. So what I want to do is I want to go to the volume, and I want to at least put the minimum volume 100. And we're going to show results. That's going to get rid of a lot of the unknown uncertainty. So I went through and basically went through this whole list of all the different things that had to do with Belize. And I ended up coming back to my clients with this about different terms. And we had things like, I should just kind of download this. I have that Zoom bar here. Let's open this with Google Sheets. Okay, so maybe I can expand some of these. Can you guys read all that? Okay, so I basically compiled all these into different priorities based off of the parent keyword that I plugged in there in the group. And it had a lot of things to do with 5-star resorts in Belize, right? Something that we want to rank for, luxury resorts in Belize. A lot of different priority. And I got them all on the list, and I started noticing a trend is a lot of these easier keywords. Let's put a filter here. So we'll organize A to Z by how difficult they were. So a lot of the easier to rank for keywords here. We have an event site too, so I started noticing like things like fishing was really popular, and we have like a tour site. Lobster, they wanted to know what the fishing season is, what activities to do, how to get to Belize. And then I started noticing too, there's a lot of like how to fly to Belize. Like, let's see, Belize, here, Belize December weather, Belize in November, Belize in October. These all have about 300 people searching for them. So I'm like, hey, why don't we make a temperature guide? Like, when is the best time to come to Belize? And then on that page, we have weather to January, February, March, the whole thing. And then as well as the water temperature, because that's what people are searching for. What is the water temperature in Belize? When's a good time to go to Belize? These are people who are probably in the early stages of planning their vacation, right? So I suggested we make content for that. September Belize, Belize with kids. People are searching for pictures of Belize. It may not be a lot, but they might be trying to figure out what they're going. I suggested let's make a gallery and let's tag all these images. And then, because people are looking for photos of Belize, right? So the more images we have a gallery, the more our stuff is showing up in the Google image search. Let's see, more zip lines of Belize, right? This goes into our activities pages and our tours pages. Where's the one? Belize dive resorts, best resorts in Belize. Anyway, for some reason I can't find it. Oh, because I need to sort here. Yeah.
So I think the keywords these are the keywords that people actually search on Google.
These are the keywords that people are actually searching, yeah. And this tells you this volume right here is showing you 300 people search for this a month. Here you go, Austin to Belize.
So the keyword panel have these keyword that we're gonna push in our website. So whenever like people search for these keywords, our website is gonna pull up and
Correct.
That's what it's doing. Right?
Yes, it's all about keywords. Is you need to get the keyword that's in your content or on your website, what the page is called. You need to get that to guess what people are typing into a search engine. So like here's a question. So Belize and Hawaii. World map Belize. This is just a client that I'm helping them through. And you can do this for literally anything. Anything. You guys want to figure out what you guys want to type something in? I'm just telling you.
Question too, actually.
Yeah.
So how does order play into effect on your content on your website? So Belize world map, like what if you were to change that wording to be like world destination Belize or something? Would that still?
Because I think the key thing here is map. So you want to think like, what's the key word in that long tail keyword that's in common? So a lot of keywords will be similar, and you can have similar keywords on the same page, but you want to call, and we'll get to on-page SEO in a second, where I'm going to show you actually how to build a page and where to put that keyword in your content. So you want to have something more generic in like the title, and then you'll use that different variations of it in your body of the content. So I'm just using Belize as an example. You guys want to try looking up another word or any point of interest? CPC, yes, because this also helps you plan keywords for paid search. Oh, sorry, I should explain that too. This is just basically giving us a keyword saying like, hey, if you wanted to run an ad campaign with this is also how much this will cost. So it gives you a little bit more information than the Google Keywords Planner, because the Google Keyword Planner isn't going to give you all that information. So I'll go through the whole thing. The keyword here, the parent topic is things that might be similar. So if I want to click on one of these and dive in, it's saying, hey, this parent topic's 10 easy, pretty easy to rank for. Here's the countries that are searching for it. Nigeria, huh, Canada, UK, oh, Belize, United States. This is the amount of clicks it's getting. There is a cost per click, and the amount of clicks that people actually click through for search. This is what the main page. I was just showing you how to get that giant list. And then there's other ideas. They'll give you like, here's questions that people are asking you for. You can also try to rank Burgalese, I don't know what that is. Rank for things like this. People also talk about other content. And here's similar content that has that term to get to what you're doing. So it might be able to like, we type, where is Belize located? But then people are also asking, where's Belize City? Where's the island of Belize? Which is not an island for you guys. Just to let you know, it's a country underneath Mexico. That's where my family's from, actually. So that's why I jumped on this opportunity to work with this resort. There's a lot of other things that show you which websites are currently ranking for this. So if you wanted to click on any one of these, you can kind of start guessing what content is ranking for this currently. Who's getting the majority of the clicks, and how do I make something similar? Yeah.
So say I'm trying to rank in two different countries. I'm trying to have my content like rank higher in two different countries.
Yeah.
How do I use my keywords to make sure I'm reaching the people I'm trying to reach in both countries?
Oh, sure. Are those countries the same language?
No, yeah, the same language.
They're the same.
Sorry, let's say the US, Ghana. I'm trying to
Rank English in both.
Yeah.
All right. So your website would need what's called a subdomain. So this I can actually show you on a number. So let's go to look at my company. So if you have two different things, you want to have a subdomain. So we have a lot of the same terms here, but we also have European sites. It's our number 2 market. So Germany. So you want to like a /de, and I recommend keeping it all in the same like .com, because you'll see other ones do like the number inc.de, but Google treats them as separate websites. But keeping it like number or whatever .com/ the country code will pass all that link authority on one site, so it allows you to rank in other countries. But if it did have multiple languages, say I wanted to have this content in Spanish, a lot of things marketers in the US, they really overlook Spanish. It's the number 2 spoken language here, So an easy term, I'll get to that, is translate your site into Spanish and have an English and a Spanish version. Because what we noticed at Epic was, work boots is really hard to rank for, but botas de trabajo was not as hard, and that is work boots in Spanish. So you can just literally type anything in here. So you guys want me to just run anything? Markstrat, okay. Markstrat, 10. And you can see what people are looking for when they're looking for Markstrat. Markstrat is a simulation you'll probably all take with Patino later. And it's showing you which countries it's ranking for. So US, Spain, Canada. But then you can also get ideas of different things. So there's the Markstrat login, seems what people are typing in. Markstrat simulation, Markstrat simulation sheets. So if I had a blog and I wanted to show people how to win at Markstrat, I might want to consider making a blog, how to win at Markstrat. And you see, it's even easier to rank for than actually the parent content. That's a 10. So part of my job as an SEO is to find opportunities buried in these keywords. And I know it's hard. It's like up to you, the marketers, look at lists of keywords and try to find a trend. It's like, and I can't teach you how to do that, but this class, this program is designed to tell you to find insights. So that's how I found people were looking for images of Belize. People were looking at like how to fly to Belize, like the same thing, which airlines fly to Belize, Austin to Belize, Houston to Belize, Los Angeles to Belize, New York to Belize. So I was like, why don't we make an airline guide? Like, here are the airlines that fly here. Here's how long it takes to get there from these cities. And here are the direct flights from these cities. And we'll have a page with like flying from Los Angeles to Belize. And so that's currently one of my strategies that I'm working on right now. So that's up to you, the marketer, to figure out how to do that. Versus if I had just tried to go out there and rank for best resort in Belize, that's going to be way more competitive. Hilton's like banking on that, man. They got a whole marketing team versus one guy. That's me. So that's the keyword plan, is it all starts with keywords, and the search engine is trying to tell what's the keyword versus they're trying to match up intent and relevant content out there. And it doesn't just mean you can go out there and build content and stuff it full of keywords and it's going to work, because Google's caught on to that. They look at bounce rate, like if somebody actually goes on there and stays on your page, or they just leave, like, oh, this website sucks, or people actually staying on your page, reading the content, clicking around. So Google has a complicated algorithm called the page rank, right? And it's not, people think it's like the web page rank, but it's after Larry Page, co-founder of Google. And it's a complicated formula that I don't have in front of me, that if you wanted to look it up how it is, but it changes all the time. They always experiment and always change their ranking algorithm. And that's generally the leaders. It all starts with keywords and trying to guess what keywords your customer, your client is searching for and how to get your content from. Does anyone have any questions on keywords? I know I went a little fast. No? Okay. So now let's jump into on-page SEO. So my old boss was so kind as to let me use our website for this. So, oh, wrong one. It's gonna be over here. Bookmarks. Where is it? Dang it. This arrow. So the next piece of this is you're writing on-page content. And has anyone ever worked on a back end of a website? You have? Do you use WordPress? Okay, cool. So you already know some of this, but websites aren't intimidating anymore. The back ends of websites look like this. There'll be a whole user interface, and you'll have different things. The Penumbra site looks very similar to this. It's our global site, but this is the Arrow Science Center site. I could even show you some of the cool things that I noticed. What we noticed was we weren't ranking first in all of our cities. So let me find it. What we did was we went ahead and we built a page for each city that we looked for. So when people were searching for sign spinners, we didn't always come up first. But when we started building pages for Atlanta sign spinners, and we filled that with content. And this is what the page looks like. Lots of content about sign spinning in Atlanta. There's the gallery I was telling you about. There's our videos, writing. We have a conversion action at the top, conversion action on the side. More writing from clients. And then we have the local map and the areas that we service. So this is more local SEO, but the term that we wanted to rank for is up here. Atlanta sign spinners. So it's going to start in your URL. So there's a bunch of places, and you can edit your URL right here. There's the page name. So you want to have the keyword in the title. You want to have the keyword in the URL. And because our website's called Arrow Sign Spinners, we didn't call this page Atlanta Sign Spinners. It's like Arrow Sign Spinners /Atlanta. So Google's smart enough to pick up on that. You want to have it in the URL. And you want to have it in the content. So I'm going to get out of here. I told them I wasn't going to break anything. So we're going to go over to the blog. And we are going to start any kind of post. So what are we writing about, guys? Hirsch, what are we writing about? Are we writing about Tron? Are we writing about Tron? Or, okay. BitTorrent? All right. So let's write about torrent. What are we writing about? Let's come up with some content. 10 best torrent sites for 2022. And we want to rank for best torrent. There's 2 R's in torrent, right? Okay. So best torrent sites. So we want to get maybe like best torrent. So this is called Yoast. This is a WordPress plugin that takes a lot of the guesswork out of SEO for you. And what's cool about this is I'm going to just type in the phrase that I want. Torrent, or best torrent. We're going for best torrent. All right. So that's our keyword. And it's going to come up here and it's going to give us a little checklist that we gotta do, right? So there's things from the key phrase being in the SEO title, the description of the meta description, the text length. So the keyword is going to go in the title. It's going to go here in the content body. Are you looking for the websites in 2022? Ooh, me too. So I'm gonna write a whole thing right here, and then you're going to have the keyword also in best torrents 2022. And we're gonna want to put it in your headings. So H1, then we have another content block here. Let's give it a variation. New torrent sites to watch for. This is our H2, so we're writing a whole nother article within it, right? And then it's going to keep giving us more and more things. So what do we need? We need some outbound links. We need some images. We need some internal links. Key phrase not entitled. Best torrent sites. It's in the title. It's not telling me. Okay. It's here. Okay. Outbound links, meta description. So the meta description, when you were looking for something, best torrent. This is the meta description, is what displays right under here. So back to the search engine result page. Your title shows up, your URL shows up right above it, and then your meta description. You want to have that keyword in all of those. So where is the meta description? It's been a while since I looked here. Oh, it's right here. So here, what's cool about Yoast is going to give you a little bit to write about. So here you can find best torrent sites, and it might be BitTorrent because Hirsch works there, and he's my friend. So anyway, I'm going to write until that turns green. Come read more. Anyway, so there's a text limit. I think they recommend about 155 to 160 characters for your meta description. Then your URL slug, you want it to be too crazy, but you want it to match the title. And then your title should probably be around 60 characters. You don't want it to be too long so it gets cut off. So then you want that keyword to show up here. And then you want to link somewhere internally. Click here. Click here. So you want to have links on your page. So we'll go to bittorrent.com, and then we'll link somewhere internally on the site. Just link back to the home page. Arrow sign. All right. And you know what? Actually, because it's best practice to put the outgoing link at the bottom. And then you want to come in here and we want to open the link in the new tab. So it's best practice to try to keep people on your page as long as possible. Okay, so that is on-page SEO in a nutshell. Is you want to have relevant content for the keywords that you're trying to rank for, and then different variations. And I want to say you want to have your content be, Yoast here is recommending about 300 words minimum. So 300 words, and then you want to combine with images. So if I were to drop an image in here, we have media library. We'll have this. So images can be optimized for SEO too. Appear in the title of what the image is actually named. The alt text is what you're describing. And then you want to give it a caption or a description that also has the same keyword. So whatever, if this was my torrent sign spinner, torrent sign spinner, and then my alt text would be pic of a sign spinner torrent sign. And then the caption would be like actually what's going on. Davis is out here killing it with a torrent sign. You know, so it's coming up in 3 different places. The alt text is basically when your browser doesn't display the image, that it is telling the browser what's going on. For whatever reason, if it's not loading, you're using a throttled service. Accessibility will just read this if someone blind is using it, like an e-reader. So alt text is telling the search engine what's in this picture, right? Versus the caption is telling the reader. And that's the difference. So that is on-page SEO in a nutshell. And this does apply to things like YouTube videos so that your video ranks higher. You can put things like your transcript. You can have things like your description. All of those things. This does apply to things like your product page. And then even if, so we're not going to publish this at all because I promised I wouldn't. But if we go to the home page, there's more examples. So we go into the gallery, you know, it is just images and images and images of sign spinners. So A lot of different cool things you can do with on page. And then, like I mentioned, with local SEO, publishing your address, your name, and the service area helps you rank locally for local search engines, because Google will come up with local intent. Do you guys have any questions about on-page SEO? The easiest part is the keyword in the on-page. We're going to dive into off-page SEO next. SEO is 3 parts. It's on-page, off-page, and then there's technical SEO. Yeah, the off-page is going to be the harder version. This is backlinking. So we're going to go to a site explorer. Anyone give me a website? I know this is probably remedial for you, huh? A little bit. No worry, I'll show you a few techniques that I use outside towards the end. So anyone give me a website, any website. Ethereum. Ethereum.org.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna go check out Ethereum. This is a good one.
Yeah.
So you can see Ethereum, powerful website. You got 89 domain rating. That means it's got tons of backlinks, 7.5 million backlinks pointing to it. 66,000 referring domains, 50,000 keywords, and look at this. Somebody's, this upward trend. Someone's doing SEO on the team. You can see they're getting these backlinks left and right, and it's trending over time. Now, who's an Ethereum competitor? Tron. I want to say competitor. Dogecoin. Let's check out Dogecoin. Well, that's not really a good. Dogecoin.com. That's the same kind of thing. This is a high domain rating. The highest I've ever seen was like Facebook. Facebook had like 100. This is insane. Like even like LinkedIn had like a 97. PlayStation. Oh, .com. 90. That's been around for a while, man. Even number.com. 2 million organic keywords. Jeez. 65. We're doing good. Luckily, my boss is the director of PR, and I'll tell her that she does a great job. She actually goes out and does the hardest part first before we do any on page. It's kind of frustrating. Ooh, someone dropped something in the chat. Oh, SEM. Okay, that was. Anyway, so if we want to, let's see. Jiffy. No, let's stay away from big sites. Giphy. Is it Giphy or Jiffy? At 2 F's, right? Oh, I know Giphy. Okay. Yeah, I know. So Giphy. So we want to go and find some. Whatever. We are a GIF company, right? I'm gifmaker.com. I actually know that guy that made that. So we're GIF maker and meme maker. We're trying to find some more backlinks to increase our domain authority. So I want to go and find out who's linking to us. Obviously, some of these links are going to be too hard to try to link for. Like, how are we going to get New York Times to go in there? But you can explore the backlinks pointing to Giphy. So if I'm the competitor, I can come through and try to find opportunities of who could link to us first. How do we get better links? A lot of these are pretty heavy links. So why don't I just go show you the project that I'm working on? So we'll go to the dashboard. Some links that I stole last week, because I'm helping them build theirs too, was, for instance, we saw a competitor was linked on SaaShub. So we went and made a profile for SaaShub. SaaShub fed its data into Owler, and geez, there's another one of these. I don't remember directly off the top of my head. I think it was ABC directory. And these are like directories, and they pointing back to us. But then we also, let's see. So like App Store, Google Play, what I noticed when I went to a competitor for Vivino is they had, where's all their App Store? Oh yeah, apple.com. Here we go. And I noticed they're getting a ton of links from Apple. I'm like, why is that? So did it really take me there? Well, you know what? I need to go to backlinks, not referring to. So we're going to sort by domain rating, the highest pointing links to us. And this is what I noticed. noticed was we have all these different country codes for Apple. Apple Canada, Apple France, Apple B, is that Belgium? US, another B, another France. I was like, oh, should we release our app in multiple languages for the countries that we operate in? So that's something that we're exploring, is getting us listed in Australia, Switzerland, and Canada, because that's a high domain link pointing back to us. That's something else. But then we also noticed there's a lot of, maybe we'll do the sorting instead of 90, we'll do from 30 to 75. And we notice there's a lot of PR. So going to other competitors and seeing what's linking to them and coming up with similar content or similar strategies. We noticed there's a lot of blogs and PR pointing to a competitor. So we started getting a lot of lists of specialized publications for wine. And this part is the least fun. You have to reach out to them and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. And you got to pitch them on your service and why you're different. And you got to ask them if they wouldn't mind writing about you and linking back to you. There's a few other things that you can do. I'll get to it in a little bit, but infographics, I know to make infographics and go and host them on infographics directories for backlinks that point back to my content, because a lot of people look for infographics. So that's more, so I'd show you another couple things. I got on like the first page for how to wash your hands. Didn't last long because it was during COVID and somebody else had something, but I had an infographic on like the bottom of the first page for how to wash your hands for my boring safety PPE company, right? So then we're like, here's how you wash your hands during COVID for food safety. So that is another opportunity to go and host these things on different directories. So anyone with a good website, if you know people, or if you can convince, it's more like PR, just writing them and being like, hey, please link back to my website. There's a lot of really cool things you can do. You can spend all day on backlinking. I don't think we have the time. How are we on time? You guys have class at 6:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You got class at 6? Yeah. Oh, good to see you, man. Good to see you. No problem. Now let's dive into technical SEO, and I can go back on that. Bye. No problem. So let's go to Google search. Where do I have Google Search Console? Do I have it here? Google Search Console. So technical SEO is the hardest part. Why don't I just go and dive into a different website? Give me any website. Bloomberg. Okay, so technical bit of SEO is going to make sure that your code is tagged right. So now this is the part where you're going to actually need your web developer or know a little bit of code. So they're going to factor in your web performance, how fast your website is plays a role in your SEO, how the technical, it's called schema, like how your content is tagged, plays an aspect on it, your site map, how many redirects are going on there, and how your site is indexed with Google. So those all play a huge factor into, will Google display it? And that, again, is very truncated version of what this actually is. So the easiest thing I could do, and this is what I did for Penumbra, is I ran a speed test on their website, and it's free, the developer tools. So the way you do this is you want to click in the body on Google Chrome, click inspect, go to Lighthouse, and it's free. Nobody can stop you. That's what's great. You do it all day, and you click analyze page load. Yeah, it is, but that's going through another tool. I was just showing the easy one to do. So I brought this to a Penumbra. It's the same, but it gives you a more in-depth report. Look, you're doing a good job. These pages load fast. And normally what would happen on a poorer site was some of these would turn red. And this whole report will come and tell you what's wrong with your site. There's a lot going on. Speed index is how long it took to load, largest content full paint, first content full paint, which is the first thing to load, so your website's useful. Largest content is the largest thing there, and time to interact is just how long it took. You want to get that as low as possible. You want your website to load as fast as possible. And then it'll give you all these different opportunities. I don't know what all this means because I'm not a dev. I usually hand a lot of this off. Come down to, oh, it does give you an accessibility piece too. So things that don't, making your website accessible. It's a huge thing in this country right now that you can get sued if your website isn't accessible and you're like a public company. Best practices. Anyway, here's the SEO site. Yes. Oh, sure. So you want to click in the body of the page, click inspect Lighthouse. And then there's a button, analyze page speed. So desktop usually always passes, but this time we're in mobile. And Google has moved to mobile first. So that means if your website doesn't load fast on mobile, then they can, if like two websites have similar content, the faster one will be displayed. But now your page has to be optimized for mobile. So if your page doesn't load fast on mobile, then they'll display the other ones above yours. And we saw that's like, there's double the amount of clicks for the other. So look here, 54 on mobile. And this is just how long it takes. So this is a good place to start. This website is slow on it. And we can see that. All right. And you can see as it's loading different elements, they're taking forever. You can send this report to your developer. That is an aspect of how fast your page loads. And it will also tell you, I click out of it, sorry. It'll also tell you anything that you're missing from an SEO standpoint. Pop back in here. We'll go back to mobile. And you'll probably get to use some of this when you go into your digital marketing class with Professor Langan. Langan's great. All right. Let's see. So scroll down to SEO. And it'll tell you things if there's anything's missing. You know, let's go do this on the arrow sign for this page because I know there's always something broken there. I expect Bloomberg's SEO to be good. All right. Oh, that's not good. Okay, there we go. 86. There's some stuff for us to fix. That's what I was looking for. Some that fail the speed test, not pass it. Okay, that's not terrible. Images do not have alt attributes, so that alt text that we're putting in there. And then links do not have a descriptive text. That's fair. So they'll tell you a lot of things that you need to fix, but it's not as thorough as using some of these toolkits. Now let me log into Search Console, show you the other bit about how you want to get your page indexed. I still have technical things. I don't think they would like it if I showed the number one. Count. Sorry, I thought I had this logged.
That's not really interesting. Like, how much of this is art and how much of it is science? What's that? Most of it is science. Well, yeah, I mean, yes or no.
The content marketing part is definitely art. Like building the content that's useful to the consumers.
Right. And like when you were looking at keywords, it's not like even with these tools, Ahrefs and SEMrush, you don't go in for 5 minutes and it just tells you what the best keyword is.
Yeah.
Like you had to go in and look at the list, and then you were like, oh.
Well, I spent 5 hours on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed that there were all these countries, right? And then there was all this flight stuff. And so what if we did a flight page? I mean, that's all kind of your intuitive interpretation, hard work.
That's where the marketing intelligence does play a bit. It's trying to go in there, see these words, build a pattern, but also know the practicalities. Like, I'm not going to rank for that. So what can I rank for? You don't have access.
Yeah, just that whole idea of like, are you going to go for a short tail keyword or a long tail keyword, or where on that continuum makes sense for you?
Okay. So I'm taking you to Google Search Console. now, which is another tool by Google that's free. And I'm only going here on this one because I wanted to show them a website that's doing well, not a website that needs to be fixed. So Google Search Console will show you kind of similar things with PageSpeed Insights does, but showing you more about what is indexed. So let's go over here to pages. You can see out of all the pages from our sitemap, I think we got 41 out of them have been indexed. And basically, you guys know, like when you're using Google, you're not browsing the internet, you're browsing Google's version of the internet, right? So this is where you go and tell Google what to display on a search engine or not. So we have some of these backend pages that there's like nothing there. I don't know, it's just a bunch of jibber jabber code that I don't want Google to find. You know, I don't want them to actually find some of these pages. So 41 are client facing. So I just go, drop my link in here, or I can download a sitemap. Most of the time, your WordPress site or your CMS, your content management platform, will build you a sitemap already, and it's just a few buttons. You want to just drop that in there, but then it'll also tell you your overall performance, what people are searching for to get there. Let's see what I wanted to show you. Right here is your mobile usability and things that you need to fix on your website. So text too small. I have 2 pages I need to fix. I know I just haven't done it. Clickable elements too close together. And this tool will give you a lot of technical insight into your website. Now, for the sake of time, I'm just going to briefly go to schema. Is it schema.org? Schemamarkup.org? Okay. Thank you, because you know, you slipped the cheating in. So schema, when you're building your HTML, you just want to drop some of this in there to tell Google what is in there, or what the browser is. And this will be things like product descriptions. This is an image, your name, your address, your phone number. This is a category page. We're looking at, oh, they have instruments. You basically want to use this tag in your code.
Basically, if you don't add schema, then Google cannot pick your stuff up. So if you are using WordPress, for example, so there's plugins that they'll automatically assign schema. So if it's a product you're selling, it will automatically give product description, product title, product price, and it will just pick up that schema and push that information.
Or name, like your business name, your business phone number. This is the phone number. This is a text box. So it's basically telling Google what this is. This is more on the technical side, but it is something to check off your list. Good news is you don't need to know code to do SEO. I don't do a lot of this. I just more ask Aaron or our web developer, like, hey, can you get some of the schema in there? And he'll go in there and he'll do it, or Arnaldo, my other dev. So that is Lighthouse. Okay, so that is SEO overview wrapped up. Now I want to just show you a couple resources, my favorite resources to get better at SEO. Obviously, let's go back to Ahrefs. Ahrefs is my favorite one. They have the best pricing plan. It's $99 a month for the single version. They do have bigger tiers. They don't give you a free month, but they do give you, it's like a week for $7. They have a whole academy, and they have I stumbled onto them because I was looking at SEO YouTube videos, and they have the best YouTube channel for SEO. Ahrefs Academy is one of the best places to continue to get better at this. You don't need to be an expert to rank on the first page. I honestly, this is a good place to start. If you're interested in product marketing, you should at least know your competitor sites and search terms and how you want to market your product. And if you're an analyst or you want to be an analyst, you should at least know, what metrics you're looking for, what landing pages they're going for, what terms are working, what value of content, which pages are people actually reading and which ones aren't working. So that helps you tell the marketing team, what's working in your strategy. So that is my, why SEO is for everybody. Let's see. Another one is the Ahrefs Academy. Search Engine Journal. Do you use Search Engine Journal? Search Engine Journal is like I'm so good at spelling. Sorry, I went to USF, guys. There you go. Search Engine Journal is like the online SEO newsletter, blog. It's where a lot of these conversations happen. It's one of my favorite places to go and stay up to date. Here you go. WordPress for SEO. Look at this. Beautiful. WordPress for SEO. I'm searching for WordPress for SEO. I'm going to find that, and they've got a page full of links. Of course, they're going to. So if you're looking for ideas, I think the SEO companies are usually a really good place to model your SEO after. Look at that. SEO, Target, and all the different enterprise SEO, Google algorithm updates, local SEO, mobile SEO, on-page SEO, technical. Brilliant. And then as USF students, you guys have free LinkedIn Learning. And there are really good classes on digital marketing and SEO to just get more versed in a lot of different ways of this. And this is not in any way an exact science. There's no, like I said, there's no authority on this. There's no real right way to do this. There's a lot of wrong ways to do this. So it's like, there's no one who's like, no, you did this wrong. It's like, oh no, that's an interesting strategy. How did you do that? Tell me more. So let's see. LinkedIn. Now, as I promised, I said I'd show you a few things that are a little bit more advanced tactics. So remember how we had that people always ask box on Google where you answers a question? So every website should have a gallery. Every website should have an FAQ, because Google will pull, especially if your FAQ marked up with the FAQ schema, your answers will pull up into that people always ask box. And then you should optimize your LinkedIn, because anything with a search box, you can apply SEO to. If you use a search bar, whether it's an app, whether it's an Amazon product, whether it's your personal profile, and you want to be found by recruiters, you want to go into these job descriptions that you think you want to move towards and start plugging those keywords into your LinkedIn profile. Infographics is a big one I was telling you about, like a flight guide, maps, because one of those terms that we were looking for was maps of the islands of Belize, or maps of the coral reef. And so we're making maps so that people can come in and download our PDF. That's always been like my way to get sneak past everyone's organic search result to get my images to display, is image search, video search too. A lot of the how-to series, the FAQs. What else did I write down here? Do you know about stealing competitors' backlinks? Like browsing their broken links? Okay, let's check out that. All right, so we're at Vivino. Oh, damn it. Okay. Next best thing. Let's go to SEMrush. Okay, so this is the enterprise tool that I'm actually using. So let's go through any website, anyone. Just give me any website. 9 gig. So I am, is this the keyword? No, I want to go to domain. So it's 9gag.com. 9gag.com. All right. So we're going to go to their backlink. No, is it number 9? Oh, yeah, I was like, okay. There we go. So, dang, it's so much easier on the other app. It will tell you link building, backlink audit. Sorry, I don't like this one that much. Why? Now I'm starting to lose. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not as good with SEMrush because I just do everything on Ahrefs. Oh, did I? Hey, quick question. What's an ideal duration to optimize for keywords for a non-commerce, non-transactional website? An ideal duration to optimize for keywords. Mustafa, do you mean like the timeline it takes, or? I'm not sure what that question is, but normally SEO is a long-term strategy and it takes 6 months to even start to see any kind of results, but really it's like a year to 18 months. Ideal duration to optimize for keywords for non-commerce, non-transactional, just like for informational. I still think 300 words at least, but 1500s for super content-rich pages. I'm sorry, man, I can't find it here. They blocked the thing behind the paywall that I wanted to show you. So on Ahrefs, you can go to broken backlinks, and it'll show you backlinks that don't point to your competitor sites. So you go to them, and you say, hey, we noticed your content to this page is broken. Can you link to us instead? and you want to build a similar page that fulfills that need. I just don't know where the broken backlink section is on SEMrush. We do use a whole lot of it. So I can't show you that. And I did want to show you one last thing.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, sure.
I run a lifestyle blog,
Okay,
so I'm thinking adding FAQs to my blog. I don't know
of course.
where.
Yeah, resources, FAQ.
Running a blog just had pages.
Oh yeah,
Don't go for 41 pages, go for 2,000 pages.
this guy knows his stuff.
Keep on adding stuff, then that's it.
So-
It says direction. I feel that, once the search console starts giving you results, that is when you get confident. Oh, wow, it's picking up. Then you start pushing content, and then it goes up. So duration would be when you start seeing results.
So like put all of the stuff at once or like.
No, if you put all of this stuff at once, Google could see that or not. If you keep on adding it, you will see that Google would reward you back. And, they will give you those insights and the results.
You want to publish regularly because your cadence, Google will look at your cadence. If it's like, oh, this website is fresh, this has web content coming out every single week. And then versus they'll be like, oh, this content is old, this is irrelevant, we're not going to show this anymore. So that's why you want to have a blog and publish regularly. So even if you're not getting the traction, you're showing that your website is current. You want to have a resource section on your website to stuff a lot of other things like doesn't have to just be content. You can publish research. Sorry, that's the other thing. The easiest way to get backlinks, you can publish your own first-party research. Go out there and publish like survey results. I learned this one at a conference that I went to last year. The guy ran a website. It was at the madeofholidays.com. Like he's the guy that has like National Pancake Day, and his agency runs all the bullshit holidays like National Puppy Day, Best Friend Day, and he picks the days on the calendar when those are. And he publishes content like National Cookie Day. Did you know that here's the favorite cookies state by state? And he pays to get that first party data. And then he has news organizations linking to him, like major press coverage from like New York Times, LA Times, CNN, linking to him because he publishes his own first party data. So that's another advanced SEO technique, is to publish your own research and data. It doesn't need to be like this grand market research project. It can be 1,000 people, blind survey. What kind of pants do you like? Or what's your favorite, do you prefer this kind of shoe or this kind of shoe? And that's how you can kind of become a source of knowledge in your field without, especially if you're on a budget. And another one I did want to show you is I've been working with an SEO partner at the agency who's been around for like 25 years, back when the internet used to be a bunch of links on Yahoo and Google. He showed me a cool thing, and I wanted to share this with you so that I know you know a lot. Let's see. This are the resources here. It's kind of like, oh, cool. Oh yeah, that's kind of how I came into it. I was a designer, and I'm learning.
It's like everything comes in.
Full circle, but we have the technical background. You've got to definitely have your advantage. So that's really awesome. This is kind of like the FAQ, but like times a million. This is a glossary. So if you really want to go after, like, I am the thought leadership of this piece, you want to have a glossary piece on your website. Lists out and defines every term that might be relevant for your business. And when you click on one of these, this goes to a landing page, right? That is full of content around it with points of conversion. My secrets.
Since you're running a blog, the post that you make, you see how every page has so many links in it.
Yeah.
Internal linking.
So, yeah, you've got to get a lot of internal links as well. Search engines pick those up.
Like, it'll know how your website cross links. So these people know what they're doing. This is a huge fintech company that my agency was working with. And they've got data on it that they share and publish, white papers, as well as points conversions. And you see that the conversion item, try for free, is like following you around with the chatbot. I think that was it on my tips and tricks. That's pretty much it. And I did want to say, it's like, even if you're not going to go out there and become a digital marketing manager yourself or learn SEO, it's worth knowing it about if you're trying to product manager, but if you do want to go into digital marketing, there's more jobs than there are people. And that's what I could say to that. The job outlook for a digital marketer, especially, I'm a generalist. I'm not good at any one thing, I know a little bit of enough, and I know when I don't know that I go find somebody who does. Like, hey, sure, I should get over here. And the guy from the MSMI last year that was really good at paid ads. But that was it. His Google ads, that was it. But hey, come help me with this real quick. So I'll go find a pro. The job outlook is tremendous for digital marketing. You can have to be a specialist and be like, I am the SEO guy. And I've been doing this for 10 years and all I do is SEO. Or you can even be further, like, I'm the technical SEO guy and all I do is technical SEO, or all I do is bad, which I think is a little boring. That penumbra, I get to handle. I just solve problems. I click buttons and I solve problems, and that's what's really refreshing about my job, because every day is different. So I get to learn a lot of these different things and tools. At this point, I feel like I can use software like every month. And the job outlook is tremendous. Once you get into the manager level of any of these digital marketing jobs, it's in the 6-figure range, and you can become an expert in it. And I know a lot of you probably come to the Bay Area if you're not from the region, and you say, oh, I want to go work in tech. And the first thing that you think of tech is like Facebook, Apple, Google, the big ones, right? Those are hyper competitive. They're competing with the best people. But there are a lot of companies that are not digital, that are like, when I came into Penumbra, they have no digital presence at all. I was like, how are you guys global, with like this this underutilized digital marketing, so that's why they brought me in. I'm leading this digital marketing transformation at this $9 billion technology company, and they own their terms. And I had to spend 6 months of meetings and educating a lot of executives on why this matters, tracking down the leads and getting people to show why, attribute it back to revenue. So the job outlook for digital marketing is awesome. I'm more than happy to talk to you about all of that. But then, you have to learn a little bit of everything or become a specialist. And I think that's it. Yeah, done. Oh my God. All right. So right on the hour, a little bit over. Thank you guys for listening. I'll take any Q&A, or if you guys want to ask me anything, or ask me anything about getting a job, or anything about my job, or anything about SEO, or want me to review anything, and that was a chance. But let me answer Mustafa's question. No problem, bro. Is SEM more findable in a geographic segment? Example to just have them go hand in hand. SEO versus SEO. SEO is long term. SEM is short, instant results. Okay. All right. That's it. No questions? I know there's a lot of information. I just hope that you guys at least learned one thing.
You have any other job hunting tips or job interviewing tips?
Oh yeah. Everyone should add me on LinkedIn and then look at my profile, and you'll see how I've optimized my profile, and my resume is also optimized, and I can be happy to send you that as well. I've helped some of these guys. I was like, yeah, just plagiarize my shit. I don't care. So you plug the keywords in. I would kind of show you how to do that, so that you come up and search. Like, recruiters use it to find people, right? And so you want to come up, and then your resume also. Humans don't read resumes anymore. I mean, they do, but you have to get through that first gatekeeping. So when you submit your resume, it goes into the void unless it has the right keywords for it to show up on the stack. It's like, hey, this job matched the resume by whatever, 60%. So these are your top 10 candidates. So you want to make sure you have a resume that's optimized for the jobs or the fields that you want to apply for. So I would say, do you guys all know what you want to do? That's the $1 million question, huh? So while you're figuring that out, I would say start looking at job descriptions now and start seeing what the skills those people are looking for. And while this program is great, the master's degree gets you in the door, you have to sell them ultimately on your background, your work experience, and your personality. And when I told me, I was like, what? You gotta have a personality to get a job? Damn it. I don't have one of those. But anyway. I think finding what you want to do and then trying to get some experience in that field. I would say product manager is the hardest. Unless you've had product experience before, it's really hard to get into because there's no quantifiable way to do that. I think a lot of people from last year's cohort became analysts. So analyzing data sets, volunteering for projects. You can literally go to LinkedIn, job search, but instead of full-time, part-time, click volunteer. So maybe, I know we have a really long winter break. If anyone's a go-getter, you want to volunteer for somewhere alongside this project and be an analyst for a nonprofit, I think that's going to also help you get some of that experience. I know some of you may be international students. Then if you're not an international student, you can work. I'd say just getting that experience, because in my job interview, she just went and looked, one of the, the digital marketing people just went and looked for things I said I worked on, and she like went and checked out my work, and I was like, oh shit, on the call. And then like luckily some of my stuff was coming up on the front page, you know, like a lot of the freezer boots and a lot of like the stuff I did at Epic and Technically, and then like Arrow was like coming up. So she went and checked my work, and luckily I had the experience, and get comfortable with the CMS too. Like if you know somebody with a WordPress site, just get comfortable clicking around with those. Learn softwares, but the softwares that are required of your field, you know, I know you'll learn R and you'll learn stuff, Tableau here, but we have a Tableau developer. I've never had to use it, but it helped to know what Tableau was. So I was working already. And then my agency was having a really rough time. So we were like, hey, we're out of PPE money. You got to go back to sales. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to do digital marketing. So from November, I was looking for jobs. So I got my job in January. So I didn't have to go for the massive aggressive wave. But then I was working full time while going to MSMI. And that was heavy. But what? If you find a job that's flexible, you know, I had turned down a job at Facebook to work at Penumbra just because I went for a fit. My boss at Penumbra, they're so nice. People at Facebook are so mean. I was like, yeah, they like did not like each other. They did not like me. I was doing the same thing, like making jokes, and they're like, yes. And I was like, you smile, you know, I'm not your enemy. And then they're like, yes, we'd like to offer you money. And I'm just like, I don't think I want to work here. You guys are like miserable. But I use that offer to get more money at Penumbra. So I think it does go hand in hand, because you can apply some of the stuff and the strategy into your job. And we can definitely continue this conversation more. Hit me up. I'm totally happy. I coached a lot of MSMI through getting a job and interviewing. I did a lot of sample interviews with my peers. Definitely happy to help you guys get that part. But yeah, reverse engineer the process. Go find the job description. Agency culture better at SF or the East Coast? Tech space, penultimate here about the agency culture. What kind of agency? Digital marketing here. If it's like entertainment, it's LA. Marketing agency, it's going to be New York or here.
Yeah, we have to talk up, I guess.
Well, we hear like digital agencies, but yeah. But like New York is like where they're going to focus on like strategy. So it's like regular marketing. Yeah, New York, East Coast. You know, that New York area, because it'll be in like Philly too. A lot of people from the program ended up over in New York, the East Coast area. But there is, you know, pretty much every major city will have agencies. Like Miami is a big hub. LA for sure, but that's more focused on we'll come up with the brand and we'll come up with the image and shoot the video for you. So if that's what you want to do, you know, for sure. If you want to work digital, but honestly, digital is everywhere.
Yeah.
Like there are agencies all over the country trying to sell me shit every day. I'm like, no, bro, what are you doing? I don't care. Yeah. The other questions or any stuff about applying the program? It depending if are you trying to get a digital marketing job? It's good to show to have the data. And I think this is one thing the product or the program taught me is to never make an assumption without the data to back this up. I had some of those instances at work where people were like, it's like this and it's always been like this. And I'm like, you're wrong, and I have the data to prove it. So people are like, our website's fine. And you're like, no, it's not. This data says your website sucks. Lighthouse is good to just show you how fast it is, but it's one part of the equation. Yeah, the same thing. And then I'm like, why is it going down?
They got it right and they got it down, and then you have to now optimize again to get up. So yeah, but it does matter. Lighthouse and If you go on SEO or like
Screaming frog.
you want to go for Google, then you've got to go for SEO itself. That's like, so they upload that they.
All right. Well, I will end. Leave the Zoom.
The site that you told me about the banner thing, I think enough to look at it because yeah, I think I can easily go for more.
What for which one?
Yeah, the banner site that you got, the design banner thing, which you showed the lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
No, no.
Yeah, for sure. I like to use the full audit from like Ahrefs, like a full audit where it'll like crawl the whole page and you can just do that. And that's what I like to bring. And that's what I brought to Penumbra. And like in my interview, I was like, okay, I need to finesse this. I showed up with the SEO audit. I had a whole plan and I just kind of hijacked it when I talked to the hiring manager. I was like, hey, I brought some stuff. Do you have any specific questions to me or can I just jump into this? And then she's like, let's jump into this. What do you have? And then I started saying like, look, here's everything that was wrong. So I kind of displayed that the opportunities with the website and all of that. And that's a move. We brought in an SEO guy last year. He was the head of SEO at Didi. You guys know Didi? Didi Taxi, Chinese Uber. So we brought in, he came from Didi because, you know, I know the internet works different in China than it does in like Latin America. So he needed to help Didi expand in everywhere that wasn't the US because Uber owns it here, but not so much in like Latin America. It's a little bit more competitive. You know, pockets in Africa where it's not Uber, and they have their own companies too. So anyway, he came in and was saying that the best thing to do is if you're going for digital marketing jobs, show up with a digital marketing audit. You know, it'll be like, hey, especially if you're going to be in-house versus an agency that you might be. You know, an agency's probably got their website unlocked, but if you're going to go be the in-house guy, and then you know, I think I don't know where I said read the staff. But there's like most of the companies in the world aren't really digitized yet, so it's still like a huge opportunity to jump in. You didn't, you know, miss it. It's easy barrier of entry to get in this and learn and be like, you know, digital marketing associate or you know, digital marketing analyst. You know, there's a lot of different metrics. Yeah. I mean, I'm down to hang out, keep answering questions. Can I leave the Zoom? Are people still on, or just me and you talking to each other? Oh, there's people still here. Oh wow! Hey everybody, good to see you. I don't know, there are people still here. But yeah, you have to be diligent. Some people, it's like when it comes to getting jobs, some people got jobs within months. And then some people, like who I thought were very bright, you know, made it. Geez, one of my best friends from the program is like, he is overqualified for a lot of these entry-level jobs. And they're like, no, you need to be going for director jobs, which end up being, he doesn't have the American experience to get the director job. So he's in a really like weird space where he's like, you know, way overqualified for the entry level. Like, why are you applying to this manager job? You should be a director, you know. And so he's out there meeting these people, but they just keep, you know, getting at the panel interview. So he's, you know, I think he's close to the offer round now. There's waves. Every quarter there's like a bunch of jobs. Like, oh, hell yeah.
Since we've got a lot of options, and when you said six-figure, you know, jobs, and a lot of people are not on digital thing. I did not even know that. I thought, you know, it would be all digital when I come here.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of industries that are not digitized.
That's what. So I wanted to ask you for the real job prospects to, you know, mid-career level pays and things like that. So how
Yeah. What the pays?
Mid-career, that's
Mid-career?
You know,
Above 100, below 200. So I'd say depending on where you land and depending on how hard you want to work, you know, like Facebook, you know, you kind of have to sell your soul to work, but they work you. You work a lot. You make like you're making $150,000 a year, you know, starting, but you want to work that much? So I'd rather work a little bit less to like, you know, make a little something comparable, you know. But it's not within the realm of reason for jobs to be starting out around 100 to 120, depending on where they are, especially if you're in California still, and paying upwards of 150 around that mid-level. Senior level definitely is closer to 200. Senior and early directors are closer to 200. And I've surprisingly found my home in biotech and medtech because that's a good mission. The people are nice. It's not as competitive. I mean, it is competitive because I do be working with like brain surgeons. But there's a lot of good that we get to do. A lot of, you know, big prosperous industry. And then that digital marketing is really nascent. So I really found myself surprised I like biotech as much as I do. You know, I think a lot of people pass it over to try to get into Google. Google's got it right now. So it's like, yeah, you can go in there. If you know somebody's working there, it must be really, really smart. It's super hard to get in. I got like knocked out like 1 or 2 rounds. Like, yeah, too fun. Yeah, I bet. So are you in the NBA?
I am.
Full-time NBA. Oh, well, you're gonna have no problem in the job. The NBA is gonna scoop up.
This is not even in our, it's not going to be in our, the whole curriculum. But if
There's no digital.
prospects are there, I would please consider it in the future.
Digital marketing, you know, especially on the technical side, I don't doubt that you will be able to have a job, especially if you know a lot of your ways around a lot of the websites and fixing things, you know. But the NBA, you get like all the strategy and money, spreadsheets, and all the extra stuff. All the extra stuff. Well, we got the NBA Lite, the MSMI. We got straight to the point with the research and the analytics. But yeah, just learning how to even open and look at those analytics tools. I'm sure a lot of you might want to be analysts. I don't know. I'm guessing. You guys still figuring it out? Still early in the career? When did MSMI start?
We're in week 5.
Oh, okay. How are you guys doing with stats?
Yes,
Ours hard. Ours hard.